Welcome back to the reality, guys. I'm your host, Billy Blinks, joined as always by my co-host, Brian.
What's going on, everybody?
And friend of the podcast, Kyle Petty, host of the Kyle Petty Show and the Strat Chat podcast.
Hi, hello.
Kyle, man, the two show thing's tough. I have to prepare. I do like my vocal and my tongue exercises before so I don't get twisted up.
Yeah, man, I'm exhausted. I'm happy to be back.
We're happy to have you back. Sorry, it's a little late here, guys, but this was a good episode, and we wanted to make sure you guys got a good episode. So this is Survivor 46, episode 10, Run the Red Light. I'm wearing my Jeff Probst shirt. I only wear the Jeff Probst shirt when it's a good episode Survivor. I don't really wear it very often. So,
but say I've never seen it before.
Well, there's a reason. No, but seriously, off the top, I really like this episode. We had a cool reward challenge. We had a straightforward immunity challenge, something we always call for. We had a blindside. We had good camp life where I felt you saw all of the relevant conversations. And then in the end, you didn't know until the votes were read if the plan went through, right?
It was perfect. It was perfect.
I just think
all of the ingredients for a perfect survival.
Notice what I just mentioned there, people. None of it had to do with getting split into goofy teams. Right. None of it had to do with an idol that has a weird rule that you got to bury something or dig it up to get it half activated or do an acronym at a challenge. None of that stupid. They didn't put a puzzle together with like 47 pieces. It was just straightforward. We don't like this person. And this person's a good player, and we need to decide what we care about more. Brian, what did you think?
Yeah, I thought it was a good episode. I definitely have a lot to say about the reward challenge outcome. But I know you said there was no puzzle, but we were throwing sandbags on a pole, which we've done 1,000 times before. But I mean,
good enough that I let the sandbag.
I got to throw my jab in there at some point, and that was it.
This is the one time that sandbags on a pole didn't bother me because it was very, very obvious how hungry people were. They were tired, feeling physically unwell. I got the very distinct impression they were a little woozy. So the idea of them having to throw this one sandbag on a very tall platform, it felt daunting to me. It felt like the stakes were high, literally and figuratively.
This reward definitely high.
Yeah.
So there's all right, guys. I'm gonna offer it up to you guys, a menu, as it were. If you were at Applebee's, do you want to talk about Applebee's first, or do you want to talk about the blind side?
Applebee's.
All right, yeah, let's talk about Applebee's for sure. Definitely.
100%.
Nom.
Yeah, so we didn't get the auction, but we did have an Applebee's themed reward challenge. And while you think that's what we are all amped up about, it's not. It was the reaction, as Brian said. So, Brian, I'll leave it up to you. I know this is your pride and joy of this episode.
I thought Liz was absolutely pathetic in this episode. Like one of the most pathetic things I've seen on this show.
Oh no!
And for a long time. And if production set this up, because I know they love to play the little narrative, and when she's like, "This is what I do every Wednesday. I go to Applebee's with my kid and get this." And I love that Q was like, I don't give a fuck what you do because I'm going to do what I want to do. And I literally was like, this is exactly the kind of shit I want to see on Survivor. And I told these guys before we started that Q blocked actually Kenzie and Tiffany trying to give it to her, which I think is incredible. I think they should have aired that. That's another knock on the episode. They should have aired that because that would have made this episode I think the best of the new era if that stuff happened, because just her whining, and it's like, why did you come on the show if you can't even eat? Like, why did you come here? Like, what is the point of this? I don't feel bad for you at all. You signed up for the show. You know what you can't eat. I loved it. I loved every second of it. And people are like, Q's such an asshole. I was like, salute this man. Salute him.
Right.
Thank you for your service.
But see, that is the problem. First of all, before I go on this rant, I 110% agree with you. Everything you said there, just retweet, no notes, right? But I think the reason why it's important that it was out of the edit where they were trying to give this up to Liz and Q doubling down is exactly what you just said at the end there, is that even still, people thought that Q was an asshole. We're looking at this as proper gamers. We understand why it's listen, I can't be distracted by that. I have an intention here. I've got a reward. This gives me certain power. Take Liz out of this. the whole reason why it's attractive to win the reward is not just for the reward. It's about extracting people and giving you some kind of agency in a social context. So it's like you can't be thwarted by Liz in this nonsense because, like you said, you knew exactly what this was. This is part of your survivor night. You knew you weren't going to have access to all of this different food, and you came on here with these allergies. So it's not fair for you to like guilt somebody and impart that on somebody else when you made the decision to be here. And it's like, but people don't see it that way because people want to be nice. It's like, but no, but you signed up for it. So no, I kind of like, listen, I'm not a big Q fan at all. But in this situation, like I wanted to win this so it would give me some agency, and I can't let your theatrics be the reason why my social game takes a blow.
Listen, I love that fucking sampler from Applebee's. It's so good. She should have just won then.
Exactly. Win the game.
Right. You lost.
Don't bitch if you're not going to win.
Sorry. You should have voted him out last week then when you're all trying to be smart. And guess what? This dude's still around. And guess what? He's got a good shot as any to win an immunity, right? Why the hell not, right? So you messed around. Now you're going to find out. Now, look, I think when we get to the blind side, it was the smart move. But to like literally like even in the tribal council, she knew she was going to vote for Tiff, but she made sure to let him know like how much she didn't like her. She's like, we can't work together. Like, we're not good. Like, you're not like some people are like, they say Charlie hates him. Like, that's what Maria is. I'm like, I mean, again, the guy's a little wacky, but he hasn't really blown anything for any. Like, they're all blaming them for the game, him blowing. Whose game did he blow up? Tiff? Why is Tiff? Her game. Use your damn idol. You blew your damn game.
Exactly. I don't want to hear any. Oh, like Liz was like, he messed up my game. I'm like, I forgot you even on the show. Like, so shut up. Like.
No, she complains about you hungry every week.
I don't really care if you're hungry. Like, don't go on the show then. And another thing that I love, like you said, was she's like, well, why don't you pick? He's like, well, you voted for me last night. I was like,
that was I said that to my wife. She was like, wait, what? I literally, I got home from my work thing. I was in the bedroom. I was putting things together and I was watching it on my phone and I started clapping. And she's like, why are you clapping? And I was like, because this guy just made a good point. He said, well, you voted for me. Like, at the end of the day, like, what do I owe you? Like, rocks. Oh yeah, I probably am gonna get sent home next week. Guess what? I'm gonna eat this week and I'm gonna eat next week. Like,
and I also love that her favorite meal was that burger that I would never order, and they didn't even eat it. And I was like, this is amazing. We're just dunking on this chick over and over,
throwing it to the seagulls.
Exactly.
Nothing but net.
I couldn't even eat the burger. I was like, Tiffany, thank you. I just love all this.
I ate so much sampler because it's so good.
Yeah, I'm so sick of this feel good bullshit on the show all the time, and they just dunked over it. She got posterized all episode, and I loved every single second of it.
We literally ate so much that I had no room for your favorite burger. Yeah, that is so delicious.
I'm sure if they if they went to the production, we're like, we want to bring her the burger. They probably would have let them do it out of just the feel goodness.
No, I would have hated that. I would have hated it. They used to sneak stuff home, but if I thought they were thinking about sneaking it out, and I would have been like, I would have called Jeff and I would have went in the past and told Jeff, "Yo, they're sneaking out food. Like, I think you should check on this. Just blow that whole thing up.
Send everybody home. You're all done now."
Yeah.
I
was kind of hoping for a clue in the burger. I thought that last burger that came in was just a solo burger, and I thought that maybe there was going to be a clue in it. And I was like, man, this is really getting old school, and they didn't deliver there. So maybe that's another negative point.
You see them
unless there was one in there and everybody just opted out.
See the giant blue drink they got when they got there? Though rum is probably in that thing.
Yeah, their insides are screwed too. I know, like it sounds good on paper. This is a good reward, but they went home and just pooped on the beach nonstop. Like, you're gonna eat all that greasy food after not eating
alcohol.
Yeah,
probably threw up too. Probably was a disaster.
Right. Show that.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, the person who won the immunity challenge was not someone who ate on the island. So, way to go, Charlie.
Yeah, he's working on his little grip strength. He's probably doing that. I don't know. If you
oh my god, that was crazy. Like,
what does that mean?
There are exercises that you can do where you kind of have that same thing where you're twisting and it's like a rope and it's got a weight on the bottom, and you do that. And that's how I assume that he was working out. But I mean, he looks like a twig, so I don't know how he would be unless he's tugging it all the time or something like that.
Ooh, forearm strength, dude. That's actually not a bad call out. And he's not heavy. When you're not like a super heavy guy too, that definitely makes it easier. But it is all forearms. There's a little really maybe your back, like if you didn't stretch before and like maybe like your back starts to spasm. But yeah, notice how the chicks dropped it right away.
I mean, Q dropped it too. I didn't know if you're making
Tiff's a monster.
I was making masturbation jokes, or you're just talking about.
No, I knew you were doing that. No, I just kept it going. Yeah. That's why I said the chicks kept dropping quick.
Like, oh, it makes it easier when you're skinny. I was like, I didn't know that.
Oh no, that part wasn't it was the part about it was the girls' forearms versus the guys' forearms.
What he did though, that was impressive. That he was just kind of cranking it, and I was like, that. I mean,
that's why I thought it was that he may have gone down earlier too. I thought in my head the more movement.
Right. That's what I thought. Because Tiffany was like a statue. She was just like,
just tough,
and then she broke. It's unfortunate.
That was not the last unfortunate thing for Tiffany this episode, unfortunately. There is the common conception of the week that if Q didn't win the immunity, it was finally time to send him home. I'd said last week, I thought this was a good play. You guys are kind of being dopes. Just extend yourselves another week and save the drama. This week, I think it was different. Tiffany having her idol, basically saying she was holding it for one more week. She was kind of publicly putting it out there with her alliance. Like, well, since I'm safe, next week I'm basically in the final 5 or final 6, whatever they said. And so this kind of comes around from, well, I guess Maria, really, this is her master plan. And I like that she did it before Kenzie. Kenzie was kind of toying with the idea. And I think in the end, if the two of them are going up against each other, this could be a move that could be maybe like the thing that tips it in her favor.
I agree.
It definitely could be. Just so disappointed in Tiffany for not using it.
Super disappointing.
2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, she went on and on about how, like, I don't want this. I know that this is the reason why I'm a target. I just got to just use it. Oh gosh, how different this would have been if you didn't.
Yeah.
If you would have
play it. Yeah. I don't understand this, like, holding on to it. Especially if that happened last week. I mean,
exactly.
It's unforgivable. It's
it was a day before.
Yeah, you got away with it once. Count your blessings. Use it now.
Yeah. Yep. Because remember the old days, like Russell Hantz, he would get an idol, play it, find it the next day, play it, just because it just goes right back in. I mean,
it's smart.
And like, we're not seeing anybody look for idols. Have you noticed that?
I haven't seen it.
Yeah, you know why they're not looking? Because I guess that this damn game now is so condensed. It's not like much time's probably passed between any of this anyway, right? Like the span of like 4 or 5 days.
But I mean, they must remember and know that Hunter left with one.
Yeah, with an idol. So
they didn't mention it at all.
Well, they don't need to mention it because it's just known. We're 46 seasons in now.
I guess.
These are super
they weren't looking, so maybe they did need to be reminded.
Yeah. I mean, for Christ, we have 90 minutes on the episode now. We can't even squeeze in somebody mentioning like, "Hey, the idol's back," or that.
Especially, how about when the 4 people are eating at Applebee's? Like, you go look for it.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. I would never play Survivor, but if I was playing Survivor, my ass would be like, my hand would be in trees nonstop.
I can't believe Liz hasn't found every single one while she's like foraging for berries in the fucking forest. You know what I mean? Like, she should have every idol. So over that shit.
Yeah, I can't wait for her to leave. There's so many people. I just get out of here. Charlie stock up. Liz was already down. It's like it's plummeting.
This is Friday night energy.
It's like a Russian stock. No one's trading it.
Liz was never too high on my list. Ben has gone up though. I kind of like Ben.
Really?
I thought you hated Ben.
Okay, so
I did hate Ben. Out. Well, I'm starting to have a little bit of respect for his game because, again, people keep including him in all the plans. When things shifted to Tiff, he did vote for her, so that means he was in on it, even though I don't remember him actually being an active part of these conversations. But it's sometimes those silent people who are not so active, but they're compliant and malleable. Like, those are the people that kind of get to the end, and he could make a case for himself. So I'm becoming more intrigued by Ben.
He looks like he's going to play a part next week.
Yeah,
preview.
It's time to activate if I'm him, right? You have to have something, right? And
you got to start to turn on, and now is the time.
What are we at? 7 players now?
I
think 7.
I don't even know.
I think it's 7 because they were saying that if Tiff played the idol next week, she was going to make 6. Like she was guaranteeing herself final 6. So 7 players left, and now we have 4 jury members.
I don't know.
Yeah, 4. We have 4. We had 3.
We have 4. Yes.
A lot of scorn jury members too. I love a good scorn jury. It's like it's something that was missing because the last couple of years I feel like they're throwing rallies for the people instead of asking them hard questions. So I hope this year they're proper pissed off enough to actually ask a hard question.
Please. I want them to be angry. I want people mad up there.
The only thing is, who are they mad at?
Themselves.
Right, because like they're definitely scorned. Q. I don't think anyone else really gets blowback from the people who are there. Like it's Hunter, Soda, and Tevin. Like if Q is sitting next to them.
Bro, I'm taking him the whole time. This dude should not get another. If I'm like any of the alliance, if I'm Charlie and Maria, we hate Q or whatever, even though they've pulled this. Dude, no, you bring that dude no matter what. Nobody's going to vote for him. Or at least he's not going to get a majority. Like
I don't know,
man. I mean, if
I don't think he's getting a majority.
I don't know.
I don't think he'll get I don't think he would get. I'm not saying he couldn't get votes. I think there's enough people who like hungry chick is not gonna. The Hunger Games girl is not gonna vote for him. I don't think Tiff's not gonna vote for him.
He stays alive, man.
Venus not gonna vote for him.
Makes it that far. It also depends on who he's going against because there's a lot of people who. Look at some of these past winners. Are they really that impressive? Like, I mean, Q can definitely win if he makes it that far.
I think Maria is the favorite.
I love it. I want anarchy on the show. So Q winning would be awesome for me.
Maria just comes off right that balance. Okay, you go.
No, you're right. I think Q v Maria, that's not a winning battle.
Yeah, no.
But I do think that Q does have an argument against some other people. Maybe not Charlie. But other than like Maria and Charlie, I do think there's an argument to be made because he did, whether you agreed with the way that he accomplished it or whatever, like the chaos that he created at some of these tribals did shift the power. It wasn't necessarily in his hands, but it did enough that like what he wanted to happen happened.
Yep.
So you can't say it was an error.
I haven't said that what he did was an error. I enjoyed it. It gave us something to talk about, right?
I didn't mean to imply you said that, but it's like that's not something we can count against him. So it's like it's starting to look like, in a weird way, with basically no comp wins and no other really large moves, you do still have a resume because of the chaos that you created that threw other people off of some things.
I can see that argument, and I would actually love to see him make the argument and see like what the reception would be.
Right. That only works if it was intentional.
I could say the same. What I could say basically is that like, while yes, like that's a negative, I don't really think besides if that wasn't this big mastermind move, which I don't think it was. I think he was just being dramatic. I don't think he's done anything else past that. He wasn't the mastermind tonight to not get himself voted out. He kind of threw that out there, but it wasn't him. Like they didn't go and say, "Hey, Q, by the way," like they just told him, "Hey, if you want to stay, vote for her." And that's all they ever told him, right? Like they weren't gonna. I don't know. Let him win a few more challenges, right? Like win a few more immunities. Like somehow keep yourself in this game because a bunch of people claim to hate you, right? So I can have my mind change, right? There's still 7 people. So we have 4 more until we get to the final 3.
Still a little while to go. And if you can convince people that so it may have just been them just informing him of what their plan was. But if you can convince people that you intended to be in the position to receive the information from the people making the decision, there's something to be said for that too.
For sure. I agree. Good episode, guys.
Fantastic. Back on track.
We're back on track. Like you said, it looks like Ben might get activated next week. So there may be some players kind of trying to
let's just pump the brakes at this season. Next week
I saw Brian.
I knew it. I saw your face.
Slow down. Let's slow down. So this is.
We'll see. Will I be wearing the blue shirt on Wednesday?
Episode 10, right? We've had 9 stinkers. So I just think that let's just slow down. Let's slow down. I would love to have another good episode, but I'm not going to hold my breath.
Okay.
Let's see if Bill's in the Jeff.
I'm glad you saw my face, Kyle, because I was like,
I was like, oh shit, we're about to get it.
Let's not jinx it either. Next week's
We're covering CBS Wednesdays. Our next review will be The Amazing Race, newest episode, and we have thoughts. We definitely have some thoughts on that as well.
Man.
Kyle, before we dip out of here, where can people find you?
Strat Chat, we're live Mondays at 9. We're doing our own Survivor recap, and we're still carrying the torch on Big Brother Canada and the Challenge All Stars 4. That's on Thursdays. Well, I guess now, because of the way I said that, 9:30 and 8, respectively. All right, so BB Can at 9:30 and the Challenge at 8.
That's
both
almost
really
done,
good
isn't it?
seasons. Yeah, BB Can is ending this next week.
Okay, so you'll free up a little bit, right?
A little bit.
Claim to Fame comes back in July. We got that.
I was just thinking today. That, right? Yeah, July 10th. So it's
the birthday gift for me.
Oh yeah, what's your birthday?
July 10th.
Oh, the actual day. Nice.
That's gonna be a fun one.
An early shitty birthday gift with The Bachelor starting on that Monday. So
that same Monday though, Kyle. So we Bachelorette. Even more.
Stop. Don't get me watching The Bachelorette.
No, we're not. Trust me, we would not suck you into that black hole. By the time you came back, your children would be old like Interstellar.
Yeah.
So we're not going to make you go in. We can never. We were born in the darkness.
Yeah.
Yeah. Check us out.
Definitely on board.
Everywhere else, TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter, all at The Reality Guys. But for myself, Brian, Kyle, thank you so much for watching. Peace.